Welcome to Stager Savvy, insider secrets to stage your home and sell it for more. My name is Stephanie. This is the podcast where we bring you the latest tips, tricks, and expert insights from the world of professional staging. And I'm joined by my friend and fellow staging expert, Kandice.
Hi, everyone. We may be competitors in the Denver market, but we believe in abundance and collaboration over competition, and we're here to share our collective knowledge with you. So sit back, relax, and get ready to learn from the experts. This is Stager Savvy.
Okay. Welcome, everybody. It's Stephanie with SLB Design Co. Hi, Kandice. How are you today?
Hi, Stephanie. This is Kandice with Kandice Lee Designs, and we have a great episode today that is very timely because today we're talking about what it means to have a shift from a seller's market to a buyer's market.
Yeah, we're definitely in that shift. We're seeing things change out there for sure.
And so to us as stagers, and what it means to realtors who are getting ready to list, and for sellers who are getting ready to sell their house.
Right. This is a good one for everybody because, like you said, it's affecting all of us. The realtors need to know what to do. They need to know they can't just throw it on the market and hope it's all gonna work out. Right. It's even more important now that they're preparing these homes for the market right off the bat so that they look fantastic.
Right. I'll tell you what, in my area, we've had more listings pop than we've seen in the last 10 years, I think.
And are they moving?
It's very interesting. And I, of course, in my business, I'm always watching the MLS and looking at what's coming on and what's not selling. And it's very interesting because right across the street from me, I have a neighbor who's been there as long as we have, 26 years or something. And they finally put their house on the market for a high price. And then it's been sitting. Great house. But they didn't use professional staging, which I, of course, always recommend. And they went in at a high price. And then a couple days later, my neighbors just 3 doors down from them just put a house on the market on Friday. And I looked today and it's already pending. So why the difference?
Right. Interesting. Okay.
Yes.
The price thing has got to be thing. I think we're going to talk about that later on too in all of our research that we came up with. Pricing was a big part of it, a big part of the shift. So
absolutely.
All right, let's talk about this shift, what it means for everybody and how we can all adapt without panicking, right? Sorry, what were you going to say?
It doesn't matter.
No, I'm sorry.
That's okay. So why don't you tell us what a buyer's market is, Steph?
Okay, so let's take a look. What is a buyer's market? This means that inventory is higher than buyer demand, right? They have more choices. So it's less urgent that they put an offer in on this specific house, right? They've got a whole lot of things to look at. So that means also that homes are staying on the market longer. Redfin stats from just Q1 2025, just now, was that the average days on the market increased by 24% compared to this time last spring. So that it's quite a longer days on market there. And sellers, here's the pricing. Sellers are having to cut prices. 30%, over 30% of active listings in the major metros saw price reductions in March of 2025. So just last month, 30% of listings had to reduce their price.
Which I'm noticing a lot, a lot of the homes I've staged even, and other homes that I'm watching because other people are staging them. I am seeing more price drops than I've ever seen in my business.
It's definitely an interesting time. So
I don't know, gone are the days where you put it on market, you slap it on the MLS and you hope for the best and you get multiple offers within the first weekend. It's not like that anymore.
For sure not. And why? Right? Why is it happening? Everybody wants to know why. What's going on? The The interest rates are a big piece of it, right? They're still around what, 6.5, 7, something like that.
Right.
And that's keeping the buyers cautious. They're not quite sure if this is the best time to purchase something. Inventory is increasing because homeowners are finally deciding to list after waiting out that post-COVID boom.
Right.
And then there's that economic uncertainty. Some buyers are really nervous about job stability or affordability of homes. I mean, we all know homes are pricey right now. Like they're up there.
They are.
And it matters to all of us, seller or realtors, stagers, homeowners. It matters to all of us because sellers are now having to try harder to attract those buyers.
That's
and
sure.
Buyers have the power. They're using that power to negotiate. They're nitpicking at things, and they're walking away if a home doesn't check all their boxes. So if you're not staging and going through that list and getting all those things done, they're going to have a little checklist. You don't want that. You want to make sure all of those things are taken care of.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
And in fact, I was telling Stephanie earlier today that a big time agent in Castle Rock was sharing a post on Facebook about how difficult it is right now, and that buyers want it to be ready to walk in with their suitcase. They don't want to come in and have projects, which we've talked about over and over on this podcast, but they don't want projects, and they're going to ask for the moon. Actually, I've heard roofs. They're asking for a roof to be replaced, even though it doesn't necessarily need to be replaced, but that's what they are negotiating. So if your house isn't presented properly and all the things fixed and ready to go to market, it's going to sit. It is just going to sit. And then you're going to have a price reduction. And then, but staging can still help in this
for
market.
Sure.
Yes.
For sure. Because I mean, that's just going to make it look even better when it does hit the market, right? So
absolutely.
What does this mean for realtors? Can you break that down for us a little bit?
It means that realtors are going to have to try harder to, number one, get the listings, because they're competing and they need to provide something different than the other realtor. So, having a stager come in as part of their listing package just to give, a consultation, going to be really important. And the marketing of the property has to look great, has to visually be appealing in those photos. And if you're not doing that, it's gonna show.
Right. For sure.
Well, and
they
the price, of course.
Right.
They have to price it right from the get-go. And I feel like so many sellers have this greedy mindset right now, because in the past they've been able to ask for the moon and get it. And that's not happening. So again, price reduction, and we really don't want that to happen. We want it to sell fast for them.
Right. Yeah, it's much better to start out at the correct price and get people to actually look at it and be excited about it than price it too high and people are like, you're crazy, you're not going to get that. I mean, we're not pricing experts. That's definitely the realtors, but they really need to make sure they're talking to their clients and getting their clients on board with pricing it correctly so that they can sell in a timely manner. Like, I think the sellers a lot of times don't understand, if it's not priced right and if it sits on the market for 6 months, all of those extra mortgage payments and extra gas payments and extra electricity payments that they're paying, it's costing them so much more.
Right. So that's why it's really important to go in.
Pricing's expensive. I mean, important.
Go in with the right price, go in with it, the presentation good, and hopefully that marketing strategy that realtors bring will be beneficial. So this whole shift is very normal. And although we're all kind of freaking out about it, this is a normal ebb and flow of the market, and we're just not used to what's going on. It's not like the sky is falling, and um, but this is normal. So we all have to shift our mindset as well.
For sure. For sure.
And so
Yeah.
that means educating them on all of these things to get it better. And what it means for us is that we have to get in there and prove why staging is going to be beneficial, because sellers have a lot of costs, right? I mean, when they're selling a house, there are so many things that they have to pay for, but staging needs to be at the top
Oh,
of the
for
list.
sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it comes back to how fast it's going to sell. If they put some money into it, what's the stat? If you put 1% in, you're going to get 10% back.
Yep.
So
as an investment in the sale.
Right. You're going to get it back at the closing table. So why wouldn't you put some money into getting your home ready? Because homes that are staged and well presented are going to sell up to 3 times faster, even in slower markets. That's from National Association of Realtors 2024 staging report. And buyers spend more time looking at your beautiful photos of a staged home than they spend time looking at vacant or cluttered homes. It's 60% more time just looking at those pretty pictures. And so that's extra time. That's going to make them want to go visit the home. That's going to make them want to spend more time in the home once they get there. So
and they say the longer you stay, people stay in the home, the better chance for an offer. So
exactly.
You want those people wandering around through the home, envisioning their life there with all the furniture. I don't know about you, but I'm always on Redfin looking at homes in my area and whatnot. And boy, if I see a vacant home, it's almost a turnoff for me. And
it's no fun to look through that.
I don't have any reason to connect with the home at all, and just move on to the next one. And when you see pictures of a staged home come on, and yes, a lot of staged homes look like staged homes.
Sure.
However, we're trying to neutralize, and make it for more buyers to be interested in it rather than less. But
it's helping those buyers envision themselves in the home. I mean, just like we tell our clients all the time, you got to take yourself out of it so the buyers can put themselves into it.
That's exactly right. So that's why staging is even more important than it used to be. I had a home, an interesting home. I put a proposal together on it in November. It was a flip. Oh my God. And the owner was the partner was my husband's old college roommate. So, cool. We went and looked at the house, put together a proposal. Well, it had been a flip, and it was so oddly broken up that there was no place. They had 5 bedrooms and no place for a dining room. And in the kitchen was so small, this little corner for maybe a little pub table and 2 chairs. Oh, well, wow. Where are 5 people going to be eating dinner together?
Right.
And so I recommended that they definitely needed to stage it so that buyers could see. Well, fast forward, because he said, oh no, we're going to do virtual staging.
Oh no.
And he staged the living room with a giant dining table and no living space. Well, buyers don't want just a dining room in their living room. And so fast forward, like I said, he's now reached out a second time and says, okay, we're ready to stage. Well, how much money has he wasted on holding costs from November to now? Just the holding costs.
5 months? That's a lot.
That is a lot of money. And if he had just staged from the get-go, more than likely, we would have staged it in such a way that you could see how you could have a dining space and living space in that room. But that, that's the story. Don't put your listing on, excuse my French, half-assed.
Right.
You need
Yeah.
it ready
Realtors
to
need
go.
to, yeah. I mean, and that's not a realtor seller situation, but still, like anybody selling a home, even if it's a flipper, an investor, whatever, they need to shift their messaging and shift their thinking. You can't just list it high and
Absolutely.
hope that it's going to go.
Right.
No, it
Right.
has to look amazing. It has to feel amazing,
Yeah.
and it has to be priced right so that buyers walk in and all of it feels good.
Right. I think it's
They
dropped 60,000 now.
Wow.
And the
So we
holding
lost that
costs,
60,000 plus all the holding costs for 6 months.
that's the fault of the agent, in my
That's
opinion.
it. For sure. For
So
sure.
they now, staging is even more important now,
Right.
and yeah, it sucks to have to put out that money in advance. But again, it's an investment in the sale of the home.
Yes. 1,000%. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What else have we got here? We talked about buyers having more choices. They don't have to settle, right? If one home feels off, they're going to go to the next one. Okay. Nope. This isn't not feeling it here. Let's check something else
Right.
out. They have
Right.
options.
Gosh, my neighborhood has seen very little turnover. And right now, in just my little pocket, we have, I think, 7 listings.
Wow.
So choices. If you want to be in this neighborhood, great. You don't have to buy the highest price.
Right.
And
You can
so
find the one that feels right.
that's right. You can shop
Wow.
around. So
Yeah. And that's it. Buyers are looking for that feeling, right? They're looking for that connection. And if the home is staged right, they're going to feel that connection.
right.
Yeah. It's not
Well,
about,
we're gonna stage in such a way that we can get that connection. We
yes,
do vignettes and emotional connection points so that
that's
buyers
right.
do connect.
Yeah. I mean, psychology
And
comes into play too. Like we learn about what
absolutely.
colors do. And if I put a color over here, they're going to look that way. And I want them to look that way because there's this
Right.
beautiful built in or whatever, right?
Yeah,
Psychology is, it's a big part of what we do.
absolutely.
Showing them the way the home functions.
Yeah.
Stagers do a great job of that by furniture layout and things like that. The space
Yep.
should feel clean, calm, livable, right?
Neutral.
And again, letting those buyers really see themselves in
Yeah.
that space. If it's vacant or if it's just not stays, just blah, the way the people have been living there, the buyers aren't going to see themselves living there. They're going to feel like they're invading the homeowner's space and it's not going
Yeah.
to feel comfortable and inviting at all.
Right.
So
Right.
it really is so much about connection. Let's talk budget a little bit because like it all sounds expensive. So how can we dial it in and help people stage on a budget? I know we both do the consultations. We use what they have and help them with the proper layout and um, the depersonalizing and all of
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
kinds of things. Even just that makes a
Oh.
super huge difference.
And if nothing else, a consultation should be the beginning of your home selling process. And
For
hopefully your
sure.
agent is paying for that,
Every
because
agent
that
should
will,
offer that, I think.
they should, and it's going to help increase their commissions because it's going to help increase the property. But I would
Yes.
say do not start with virtual staging. It is
Mm,
what do I say? A bait and switch.
totally.
So when buyers see how great it looks online and then they go in, there is no emotional connection.
Right. They go
So,
in and
and
it's this empty home.
they feel duped.
Yes,
So don't start with virtual staging and don't start with a vacant home.
for sure.
If it's vacant, definitely have it staged. And,
Yep.
the cost of vacant staging, depending on where you're located, what the price of your home is, all of those things factor into the price. And there
Sure.
are definitely cheaper stagers out there who can do it for for less.
Right.
I don't necessarily recommend that because good staging isn't cheap and cheap staging isn't good.
There you go.
But, you know, getting some staging is important. It can be, you know, on an average size home, it could be about $3,400 for the first month for all of that goes into the staging. If it's a bigger house, of course, it could be up to 5, 6, 7, 8,000. But the bigger the house, the more stuff you have, the higher the luxury level of the staging needs to be. So don't cheap out. It's got to look like a luxury home.
Let's play with those numbers. Say we have a $500,000 home.
Yeah.
And say it costs $5,000 to stage it for a month. 10%, right? And if we pull that average of we're going to make 10% more on the sale of the home, so now we're selling for $550. We just made 50 grand and we spent $5 to get there.
It's a no-brainer.
I mean, that sounds like a no-brainer to me.
It is. Yeah. Now, I'm sure there are people who are going to say, well, what if it doesn't sell and we have to take a price drop and a price drop and a price drop? That happens.
It wasn't going to sell without the staging either.
Staging doesn't guarantee an instant contract.
Correct.
But it could be the difference between 1 month and 6 months
for
of it sitting.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
So even little condos, super, super important to have staged because buyers go in and they say, you know, how am I going to fit my furniture in here? And if there isn't anything in there, they have no frame of reference.
It feels smaller.
It does. It feels smaller. And so by showing how furniture will fit in a very small condo, super important. And in that case, you know, like my minimum's $2,400. It'd probably be about $2,400 to invest in the sale of that condo.
Yep.
And hope that, you know, it'll sell right away because people can envision how their furniture is going to fit.
I was just in a home, I don't know, last week, and it was beautifully decorated. And I was just helping them, you know, get through the extra stuff to depersonalize it and all of that. And she had a question that should we just take everything out of this room and leave it empty? And I was like, no, because it's a small space anyway. I said, it's going to feel so much smaller if it's empty. People aren't going to know. They're not going to be able to visualize what can fit in this space. And she was like, oh, that makes so much sense. Because then she went to the new place that they're buying. She was like, when we were in the new house, it was empty. And she was worried about their furniture fitting because it felt so small. I'm like, I promise you it's bigger than it felt that day. I said, you probably will be fine. She's like, oh my gosh, I feel so much better now. But people don't realize that when it's empty, it's with not having a frame of reference, it just feels like this little room. Yeah. And you don't know if your stuff will fit because you have nothing to compare it to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we always say stage first.
Stage first. And agents need to pivot their messaging. Agents need to let their clients know that staging is not a luxury, that it's a smart move in a competitive market. And when buyers have lots of choices, they're going to pick the one that looks nice and feels nice. So you need to stage your properties.
Yes. Bang.
Bam.
Mic drop.
There you go. Okay.
All right.
What else do we need to talk about?
I think we've
covered everything. I think
we covered everything.
Yeah.
So if you have any interesting real estate stories, reach out and share them with us. We love talking real estate and staging and all that good stuff. So we'd love to hear from you. Yes. Give us a comment, a like, whatever. Mm-hmm. And what do we have? Oh, go ahead.
Before we go.
Yes.
We have a few little tips and action steps for realtors and for stagers.
Okay.
So let's talk about this before we go. So realtors, if you're listening, walk into every room with a fresh set of eyes and ask yourself, what are buyers going to question here? What are buyers going to have a problem with?
Yep.
Okay. And then, of course, we talk about photography all the time, but invest in great photography, but
Yes.
only after the home looks its best. Why are we
Yes.
taking pictures of empty rooms? I mean, you need
And
to
with
list.
our cell phones.
And yeah,
No.
not with
No.
your
We
cell
need
phone.
real estate photographers.
Yes. And after the staging consultation or after the staging process is complete,
Yeah.
for sure. Also, start including staging as part of your listing presentation. Tell your sellers, in this market, staging's not optional. I've got a trusted partner who can help. Send them the info, whether you pay for it or not. I mean, you should, you could. I understand probably not all agents can swing that, but it definitely should be part of your process, whether you're paying for it or whether you're just connecting them with your partner stager. But get yourself a partner stager who can help.
That's
and
right.
give that to your information to your clients.
Yeah.
So what about
And
stagers?
definitely encourage your homeowners to take care of any problem issues in advance, because these days buyers are not going to want to come in and see projects. I mean, I just
Right.
had a beautiful home that I'm doing next week that had a purple accent wall and green on the other walls, and they weren't going to paint. And I really strongly encourage them that, especially in the master bedroom, that is the decision room for most people. So it needs to look amazing. So not optimally, but they did decide to get rid of the purple and just do green throughout. It's better than it was.
Better than it was.
But honestly, the whole house could have used fresh paint because it was a little dark and dreary. And, light fixtures, simple fix that has huge return. I mean, if you have dated fixtures, they wonder what else has not been taken care of.
That's right. It feels like maintenance.
Those things, gosh, you could get an $80 fixture and have someone put it in for whatever, $50. And there you have a nice updated feeling space for not that much.
Right.
But take care of all those little things before you put it on the market.
Yeah, 1,000% better than people walking in and seeing a 1982 gold chandelier.
That's
whatever.
A problem. That's a problem. Lower.
That's it. Yeah. That's it. Okay, some tips for stagers, because I know we have stagers that listen to us too. Create a top 5 things buyers notice Instagram post.
Ooh.
List out the top. Put yourself in the shoes of a buyer. What are they looking at? What are they noticing? So that your realtors are paying attention to those things and possible sellers are paying attention to those things. Put that information out there for your agents.
Great idea.
Also, maybe you want to run a little mini audit on one of your agents' listings, or any random agent that you find on Redfin or whatever. Find a listing and audit it and show some before and after potential of that listing. Talk about what could be improved and whatever. I guess you won't really have after photos, but people can see that even if a home is listed and it looks okay in the photos, when you start looking at the details at what could be better, it's going to make a huge difference for those photos as well.
That's right.
And then also share some stats out there on your socials. Homes that are staged sell faster, even when buyers are in control, like they are now in this shift to a buyer's market.
Ooh, good.
Yeah. So lots of good tips. Everybody's got some action steps. Let's get out there and make some changes and make buyers fall in love with these homes so they sell faster.
Love it.
Love it. Good stuff. Okay. Do you have anything else that you want to add before we go? I
think we covered it.
I think we did. That was great. We're getting kind of long, so we should probably wrap it up. So
okay, so come back for our next episode.
Yes,
we have lots of good episode ideas coming up. So stay tuned and give us a like, a share, a comment. We love to hear from you.
Yes, we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Have a great day.
All right. Bye, Stephanie.
Bye, Kandice. Thank you for listening to Stager Savvy, insider secrets to stage your home and sell it for more. We hope you've enjoyed our discussion on home staging and gained valuable insights that you can apply to your own real estate journey.
If you have any questions or ideas for future episodes, or would like to learn more about our services, please feel free to visit our website, stagersavvy.com, or reach out to us directly at stagersavvy@gmail.com. We're always happy to help.
And don't forget to subscribe to our podcast to stay up to date on the latest episodes. And if you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a review. Your feedback is incredibly valuable to us, and it helps us improve our content and reach more people.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.